Hello, YouTube. Greetings to everyone today. Oh, yes, it's been a long time, man. It's been a while. All right, for today's video, this is going to be a Q&A video. I got some questions and answers here, and I'm going, as usual, you want to be able to see the question on the bottom of the screen, or at the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to read that and give my brief response. I'll try to keep it brief, depending on what type of question it is. So I think I have about 5 or 6 questions this time. So let's get to it. Oh, before we start, you guys can see I have a new poster here. Let me put the camera up real quick. My man, my tripod up. That's my man there. My boy, Bruce Lee. I can't remember what it was, some sort of sale. There was some sale going on. It was on Facebook. They were advertising it, and I thought it looked cool. And I was like, you know what? I gotta represent my man here. Gotta represent Bruce Lee. But yeah, nice poster. Got like what? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5 parts. Nice. All right. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so our first question here is by Yasin Khan. He said, hey, Moses, can you briefly explain the differences between ASIMIL, Teach Yourself, Colloquial, and Pimsleur? What are the pros and cons of each of them, and which ones do you recommend the most? I have a limited budget, and I would like to know which ones to get the most bang for my buck. Pimsleur just seems so darn expensive, and I don't know if it's actually worth it. I took a semester class of French about a year ago and have forgotten nearly everything, so I would like to reawaken my knowledge on it. Thanks. All right, thanks for the thanks for the question, Yasin. I appreciate it as usual. ASIMIL, Teach Yourself, Colloquial, and Pimsleur. Well, first we'll focus on ASIMIL, Teach Yourself, Colloquial, because those courses they're similar. They have their differences, but at the same time, what they're offering is pretty much similar. Now, ASIMIL is more of I would say ASIMIL compared to the other courses, ASIMIL is more, I would say, is more a natural approach. There is really no grammar. Although they do have some sections where they explain grammar, but for the most part, that approach is for like a natural learner. You know, you keep listening, you repeat. And eventually after you get to so many lessons, you will have absorbed a lot of the material. That's how ASIMIL works. A lot of the dialogues they have are very brief, and they get straight to it with the audio. There's no English at all. So if you're learning Chinese, when you go to lesson 1, it's all in Chinese. Then lesson 1 in Chinese, and they'll get right to it. So they cut all the English out. Now, Teach Yourself is not like that. Teach Yourself, and by the way, I like all courses. I own a lot of those, pretty much all the courses I own. Teach Yourself is different in its way, but let me see. Teach Yourself has a lot more grammar explanations. They give you thorough grammar explanations. They give you examples and whatnot, and that's the good thing about Teach Yourself. Colloquial is very similar in that respect. You will be able to understand certain grammatical patterns used based off of those examples that were provided for you. Teach Yourself, unlike ASIMIL, when you do the dialogues, there's some English there. Okay, you may have to listen to a little English before you get to the actual dialogue. That's just how Teach Yourself is. It's not a bad thing, but it's just like if you're like me and like to get straight to it, Teach Yourself, you may have to do some editing to cut out the English. But Teach Yourself overall is a great course. You will be able to learn a lot. I think ASIMIL is more, I would say ASIMIL is more of a natural approach, no grammar. And they have a lot more content, because usually ASIMIL has about 100 lessons. Teach Yourself doesn't have that many lessons. They have about 14, 15 chapters or something like that. Some courses have more. Some have like 20, 15, 20, yeah. Colloquial really is it's similar to, like I said, similar to teach yourself. They have dialogues, they have grammar explanations, they have a grammar section at the end of every chapter, and they explain it. And they also have culture notes. I don't think. Oh no, teach yourself has culture notes as well. ASIMO has some culture notes as well. I forgot to mention. But colloquial is really this pretty much the same as teach yourself. The only thing is colloquial. Okay, you may have some more colloquialisms than teach yourself, but what they're offering as far as content and how it's structured is pretty much the same. PEMSR is different. PEMSR is more audio based. They don't have a grammar. They don't have like a book, at least that I know of. Maybe they brought something out now or recently. That I haven't seen yet. But from my experience, when I used PEMSR, they didn't have like a book like Teach Yourself or Colloquial, where they provide you a section with vocabulary words and a section where they explain grammar. PEMSR doesn't offer that. But PEMSR is a good course. I think it's good, although many people say it's quite boring and fall asleep. I mean, I fell asleep too on certain listening to PEMSR, and I found myself having to go over the lesson again because I fell asleep. But I will say that it's very good for a beginner because the content, the audio is recorded by a native speaker, and it's very, 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 very repetitive, and they put like a lot of just the emphasis. They're very emphatic on the way they pronounce certain words, tones, or whatever the language is. So I think that the PEMSR is a great course for beginners. Okay, and like I said, I'm just being honest. I fell asleep. A lot of people say, they fell asleep, and it happened to me too. But it's still a good course. I think it's worth it. I'm not sure how much it costs, but I would say I'm not gonna tell you to go ahead and buy it, but I'm gonna just tell you that it's very suitable for a beginner. Okay, so I would say if you have a limited budget, I would go with definitely look into see PEMSR. It's easy because it's audio. You just turn the audio on, listen to it. You're not required to look at any text. You just listen and just learn through the audio. And I think that's the easiest out of all those. I think that's the easiest way to learn stuff without having to look at a text. So I would look into the PEMSR and get that. If you feel that you're not learning enough and that you want to learn more, then you may have to just get something like Teach Yourself, ASIMO, Colloquial. You can't go wrong with ASIMO, Teach Yourself, Colloquial because they all provide. They have audio, they have the text. You can't go wrong with any of those courses. So I would say go with PEMSR first because it's easy. Listening to something is easy. You can be on a commute listening and still get that in. So try out PEMSR, see what you think. If you like it, stick with it. And if you feel that it's not enough, then you may have to get another course. I always look at that as a supplementary too. When I learn different languages, PEMSR, I will use PEMSR, but I will use it as a supplementary. That's what I like to do. I use a lot of courses as supplementary courses. So that is pretty much it. So you can look into PEMSR and see how you like it. And again, if you don't like the content, you feel that it's inadequate, it's not sufficient for the knowledge that you're trying to acquire, then you may have to look into getting one of those other courses. All right, let's go on to the next question. Thanks again, Yasin. Okay, next question is by Joseph Amos. Hey Moses, do you incorporate Anki flashcards when using the FLR method? Thanks for your question, Joseph. Appreciate it. I don't use flashcards. I'm not a flashcard person. I'm not saying that flashcards are useless and they won't work because they work for certain people. But for me, it's not my cup of tea to use flashcards. I was just never into flashcards. you could use it, but I don't use it for that FLR method. I don't use flashcard. Now, they have this program called Memorize. It's like a flashcard based system. It's, you know, the way it's set up, it's like flashcards. I use that as again as a supplementary with other supplementary that I normally use when I'm using this FLR stuff. So yeah, so I don't use flashcards. Let's move on to the next question. Thanks for your question, Joseph. I really do appreciate that. So by iTuber 012, question on input for Japanese. 1. Been pouring through all the Japanese content I could find in Netflix in order to improve my listening comprehension. I'm one of those rare Japanese learners who doesn't like anime, but I found a couple which are not bad. Do you have any additional tips for speeding this along? Should I watch the same episode over and over? I'm gonna just start with that. Oh, let me finish this. With Japanese, I found that as an English speaker, I tend to stop listening during the beginning of the sentence, but with Japanese, you have to concentrate and listen until the very end of the sentence because that's where the verb is. All right, so let me focus on that. When it comes to watching movies, you say you watching Japanese anime. I think you could. I've done it myself. Watch the same movie multiple times. You know, and some people even go as far as they'll watch the movie or anime, whatever it is, with the subtitles on. Then they'll watch it again without the subtitles. They'll keep switching back and forth. Turn the subtitles back on and then turn them off. You could do something like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. As far as speeding up the process, I think it's just time. You have to let time do its job in this case, and just keep being consistent and keep doing what you've been doing. I don't know of any other methods that you can use to speed up this process. It's just consistency and time. That's all it is now. If you can stay consistent, keep doing what you're doing, through time, you're going to get better. You're going to understand more and more of the language. Number 2, also for the FLR recording, do you have the entire level 1 in a single recording? That would be easier to review the questions faster. Some of those languages I do. It's kind of like, I think for Japanese, I have separate recordings, but some other languages, their audio, like for example, there's a total of 6 Q&As. The audio is together. They're not separated. And for me, I totally agree. Even for myself, I like to listen to them together. I don't listen to them separately because on the first week or whatever week I'm on, I listen to everything, the questions and answers, the difficulties. I put all that together and just have the audio playing. That's what I normally do during the week. So for Japanese, I don't have all the audio put together like that. However, I do plan on updating the course, and because right now I believe there's a female in the course. I'm going to get that updated, and when I get that done, I'll make sure the audio files are intact in a way to where, like I said, like they're all together and not separated, because that's more efficient, at least to me. So when I get that done, I'll make a review as usual, and if you bought that course before, I'll get it over to you free of charge. So those are my questions for this week. I was supposed to make this video a long time ago, but I didn't have time. I've been so busy. Oh my God, I've been so busy lately. Like, oh my God, like really busy. So I'm trying to get back into the groove of things. Many of you know I'm working out. I'm on this rigorous diet, going to the gym. You know, it's been about 5 weeks since I've been doing that. That's going well, and yeah, I've been trying to stay consistent with that, and yeah. So like I said, I'm getting back into the groove of things. I'm actually about to make a stream video and talk to my followers, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So those are the questions for this week. If you guys have any other questions, just post them in this video, and those questions will be your question will appear in the next week's video answering questions. That is it. Hope you guys hope everything's going well for you, your studies and whatnot. Hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for viewing, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace. Take care.